would rather spend 3 hours considering the practical implications of Phineas and Ferb's invention than, go hanging out with people, yeah, then you might be an INTP, or the logician, and you didn't even know it. INTPs are introverted, intelligent, basically nerds, who really like to think about things in a logical context. They build a big framework of the world inside their big beefy brain. Not that many people can claim to be INTPs, a fact that INTPs are probably quite proud of. Einstein was one of those famous INTPs, so in this video I'm going to give you 5 clear signs that you're an INTP and you didn't even know it. Hey everybody, I'm TrebleKnight, and welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've seen my stuff before. I make comedy videos about MBTI and my own perspective and experiences about life. So without further ado, let's get started. People call you cold. INTP's dominant function is introverted thinking. And by the way, if you have no idea what a cognitive function is, I made an entire video going over all of them, but there are 8 cognitive functions in total, and each type has 4. The INTP's cognitive functions in order are introverted thinking, extroverted intuition, introverted sensing, and extroverted feeling. Yes, I know, they're all backwards. MBTI is weird. TI works like a giant supercomputer. It creates a model of the world inside their own head. This incredibly realistic model helps INTPs see and understand the world around them. But like any good computer program, that model is pretty binary and is pretty disconnected from the real world. Things like emotions just don't really get placed into INTPs' value judgments. INTPs want to quantify everything. If you can't assign a number to something, they just don't really see much of a point of including it because it's irrelevant. That being said, INTPs do understand emotions, they have emotions, and yes, they can even assign value to them. They're just kind of reluctant to do so. If an INTP can avoid emotion altogether, they will, but INTPs, especially as they get older, understand that you really can't do that, and it makes them very unhappy. You overthink everything. The INTP's second function is extroverted intuition. This cognitive function is all about thinking about possibilities and seeing patterns in the world around you. When combined with introverted thinking, this doesn't just create an overthinker, this creates an atomic overthinker. INTPs think about just about everything. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Thinking about stuff is good. I wish more people did that. Unfortunately, overthinking is not a good thing. And this can put INTPs into analysis paralysis. Of all of the types, I think INTPs are, if not the biggest procrastinators, they're definitely in the top 2. INTPs can hyper-focus on very specific details that in the grand scheme of things just aren't very important. Like, for example, what color they have will give them the lowest chance of speeding tickets. Personally, I think the better option is to go the ESTP method and drive so fast their cops' radar can't register you. You love theories and concepts. You know, I've never met an INTP who likes sports. I'm sure they exist somewhere, and they're probably into, a sport that doesn't exist like Quidditch, but INTPs just don't really value the physical world that much. Instead, INTPs like the theoretical, because the theoretical has no limits. It can be whatever you want it to be. It's not limited by today's technology or the laws of physics, though INTPs do like the laws of physics. These kinds of theoretical concepts don't even have to be linked to anything real for them to enjoy it. For example, an INTP is going to love to get into a debate about which kind of lightsaber hilt would be the most effective in a battle. Yeah, INTPs are kind of giant nerds. You need a lot of time alone to recharge. Wow, INTPs are introverts, who would have thought? Well, yeah, but INTPs kind of take it to the next level. There are 8 types of introverts in the MBTI system, but not all of them are as introverted as the other ones. INTPs are one of the most introverted. Because of their cognitive function stack, INTPs are going to spend a lot of time in their head thinking about things. Anytime something new comes up into their life, INTPs are going to need to take some time to figure out how they think about something. How does that interact with everything else they've already experienced before? This takes time, and it takes all of their brain power. They don't want you knocking on their door trying to get them to go out and play sports ball when they're trying to figure out the ramifications of the newest Star Wars lightsaber design. You struggle with systems and routines. The INTP's blind spot function as SE. And if you guys don't know what the blind spot function is, it's their third function inverted. It's one of their so-called shadow functions. The shadow functions is certainly something that is kind of debated in the type community, but I like them, so I use them. What this means for INTPs is that they're really going to overlook anything physical. Sure, an INTP will find all of the Easter eggs on their DVD first watch, but when it comes down to closing the cabinets, yeah, INTPs are going to be completely absent-minded on that. Anything really physical, INTPs are just going to disvalue. This is why most INTPs should take steps in their life to minimize these problems, like duct taping all of the sharp corners in their house. INTPs can struggle to keep their houses clean. They can struggle to keep up with their hygiene even. INTPs are rarely on time for things. Of course, INTPs can get better at all of these things, and they oftentimes do, but it takes a lot more time and effort for them, and there's a likelihood that they're going to slip up and make mistakes here. So those are 5 signs that you might be an INTP and you didn't even know it. I've made a few other videos about INTPs, and you can watch them here if you want to get a little bit more in-depth purpose. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to my patrons. Baron's listed down below, and I'll catch you guys all next time.